Hi BookTube, it's Stephanie. Today I'm going to share with you what books I read in March. In March I started off the month by having a lovely reading slump, so that was so much fun. So yeah, but the first thing I did in March was that I DNF'd a memory called Empire by Arcade Martin because my library wanted it back, and as I said, I was in a reading slump, and after having it an extra week I needed to return it. I want to start it again, and I have it ready for when I've finished one of my current reads. The first book that I actually finished in March was Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. It's the first book in a duology that takes place in the Grisha universe, and that series starts out with Shadow and Bone. And yeah, I really like that. It was a buddy read, and it was my buddy read partner's choice of book. I really liked it. It was fun. Some things were a little bit like, sure. However, the like okay, you are very young, you're teens, of course you can do all these things. However, their backgrounds were a little bit more built up so that it was actually believable that they could do these things. But yeah, I did like it. I gave it 4.5 stars because it should have been one book. The way it ended, it felt so, I want to write a second book, so I need to drag this out. It did not need to be 2 books. She could have just finished it and then have the same crew and made a companion or something. It didn't have to be like, it felt really tacked on, like this thing put in at the end just to be able to, and now we are on book 2. It wasn't necessary, and me and my friend, we talked about the fact that what if this had been a contained story, and then the next story was about one of the characters, either if they split up or not, like a bunch of companion novels, in Sweden we have Jönssonligan, which is a group of criminals that in each story they kind of make these impossible heists and stuff. And I just feel like she could have done that. She could have had a fantasy heist storylines, or like them doing heist over there. They could have done, we could have seen so much more about the world instead of this ending that kind of felt, oh, you really wanted to write a second book but couldn't figure out a way to do it without doing this. It felt tacked on, and it didn't feel natural. So yeah. The next book I finished was A Monster Calls by Perfectness. I finished it the same day as I finished Six of Crows, and I gave it 3.5 stars. I definitely understand why people say it's sad. Yeah, it's a story about a boy who gets these visits from a yew tree who tells him stories, and at the same time his mother is going through these very intense treatments for cancer. And one thing, I like the story on its own. I felt like one of the characters in the story children are not that stupid. Children are not that stupid. They know more than what adults tell them when it comes to serious matters like this. And yeah, I understood the parental part of it with protecting your child from reality. I understood that. However, there's one classmate to the main character who I just went, wait, it has been what, 6 months? It has been like a year, and now you figure out why he's mad at you? Now you're apologizing? It just, yeah, I did like it. I gave it 3.5 stars. Would I recommend it? Yes, but probably more for a middle grade audience. I can't say that I got anything out of it. I did enjoy the illustrations. It's a very particular illustration styles with like just, I don't know how to describe it, but I really liked the illustrations, and it fit the book. It fit with the theme of it. And yeah, I would recommend it. I can understand why some people would say that it's slightly horror-y. I didn't feel it that way, but maybe for a middle grade audience it would be. I don't know. And then the third book, well, manga that I finished, I also finished that on the 15th of March, and that was My Next Life as a Villainous, All Routes Lead to Doom, Volume 1, and I can't remember who the author is, so I will, it's a cover. And this is about a girl who spent her entire night playing a game and then goes to school, and as soon as she gets out the door, she gets hit by a car. And then she wakes, why am I doing this? Ugh, I don't care. And then she wakes up being a character in said game. And the game that she has played was a Japanese dating kind of game with elemental magic. And she is one of the villainous, or one of the villains in this game. However, she's the villain who, no matter what, she gets a bad ending. Period. She gets a bad ending. So she panics and decides that she wants to make friends with everyone instead. Yeah. It was fun. I am waiting for the second volume to get to me from the library. Yeah, it's really hard to say anything else about it. We have the main character knows the game because she played as a hero. So she knows the game, and now she's changing things. It's fun. I have a thing for those kind of stories with people from our world being dumped in game worlds. I think they are really fun. Sometimes you need 2 or 3 volumes to be able to feel like you're set in the story. There we go. That's what's blah, blah, blah. Let's just keep all of this in because I'm frustrated right now. We will not say how many times I've filmed this. We won't. But I gave it 3.5 stars, and we will see what I give the second volume once I get it. But yeah, that was book number 3, and I did finish one more book, and that I did not pick it out. I'm gonna go to my bookshelf. So, I did not prepare for this at all apparently. So, this was the last book I finished in March, and this is MedicBytes by Alona Andrews. Alona Andrews is a wife-husband duo who writes books. They write books. And this is the first book in the Kate Daniels series. And I really like this. It has an interesting premise, and yeah, don't really know how else to start this. This book is about a world in which magic has started to come back, and magic comes in these kind of waves and knocks out all electricity, and then it disappears and the electricity comes back on again. And I like this. This particular volume follows Kate as she tries to solve a murder on a family friend. And yeah, I liked it, and I will read the second book. I don't know when I will get to it because right now I'm swamped in other books, but I did like it. It was an easy read. This one definitely suffered from me trying to read it on the train and then just read like 10 pages if I was lucky a week. But yeah, I did like it and I would recommend it. What did I give this? Let's look it up. I also gave this one 3.5 stars. weird month. But yeah, those are the 4 books that I finished in March, and hopefully I will have a better, I won't say reading month, but completing things in April. So far so good, but we'll see. What did you read and really liked in March, or did you also hit a reading slump? I would like to hear it. I see you next time. Bye. This was so awkward. Do you have any idea how many times I have filmed this ending?